Hello and welcome to the live edition of the Integrity Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Estes. In just a moment, we're going to be joined by my co-host, Scott Westbrook. We are at Roman Oven Pizzeria, and we're fortunate tonight to have Coach Chance Jones from Southland Academy has joined us, and his beautiful daughter. Chance, I wanted to grab you real quick and just, man, you guys are on a roll. We've been picking you, but honestly, Chance, we didn't think it would be the blowout result the last 2 weeks that you had. It seems like your guys are really catching on.
Yes, sir. I'm kind of the same way with you. I felt like we were going to be able to play in all those games, but I didn't feel like they were going to be the blowouts that we had. And it's just a testament to the guys and how they've been playing.
You get an off week this week, and I know that's probably a double-edged sword. You want to get some guys healed up, but man, the way you've been playing, you almost don't want to quit, do you?
Yes, sir. It's one of those weeks where you feel good about being able to have some rest and have a little bit of heal up time, but at the same time, you feel like you're on a roll and you want to keep it going.
Tell me a little bit about your region. Now that we're kind of halfway through the season, what do you know about those folks in your region?
I think they're all playing really well. Trinity's 5-2. That's who we'll have first for homecoming. So we'll have an off week, and then we'll have a homecoming week, and then play them, which is really scary to me. Just to never had an off week, then homecoming week back to back like that. So I'm a little worried about that. And then we'll play Robert Toombs. Robert Toombs, they have a really good quarterback. They're running a lot of empty and just slinging around everywhere. And he's also running the ball out of empty, so that's pretty scary. And we all know that, SGA's been the team to beat in our region the past couple of years, and they're tough again.
Chance, before we let you go, I want to brag a little bit on the guys in the trenches for you. We've watched those guys over the last 3 weeks, and yeah, your skill players are doing well, but I think the difference maker has been those guys up front.
They are, and they're playing a lot of plays too. They're all four of those guys are really playing about 140 plays a game going into it. Unless we have that running clock we've had the past few games, but they're playing a ton of games, a ton of plays, and they're playing really hard, and they're doing what they're supposed to, and that's where everything's running off of them.
Tell me about our guest here.
This is Dempsey Ruth Jones. Can you tell them how old you are?
Hey, I'm 2.
You're 2. Well, we're glad to have you here tonight. Chance, I appreciate you stopping by, man. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Chance Jones, the head coach at Southland Academy. Scott Westbrook and I are here live at the Roman Oven Pizzeria. All of our local high school teams are on a roll, every one of them. We're going to talk about that a little bit more on the Integrity Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Integrity Sports Podcast, covering local sports in the Southwest Georgia area, creating content that is factual, positive, and informative, promoting efforts by athletes, coaches, sports administrators, and sports personalities. Thanks for making the Integrity Sports Podcast a part of your weekly routine. Now here's your host, Tim Estes.
Again, we are live at the Roman Oven Pizzeria here in Americus. Come out and join us. Eat some supper with us. We've got a huge crowd on hand here tonight at the Roman Oven. We are sponsored each week by Harper's Tree and Stump Removal. If you have any tree removal needs or stump removal needs, Harper's Tree and Stump Removal has you covered. Give Keith a call. They do a great job. You can reach Keith at 229-314-2048 or at 229-938-2412. Harper's Tree and Stump Removal is proud to be the sponsor of the Integrity Sports Podcast. We are entering week 8 of the high school football season tonight. And here in Southwest Georgia, Scott, Sumter County, Southland Academy, and Sly County are all on multiple game winning streaks. This is getting fun.
At the beginning of the season, we all felt that Sumter was going to have a strong season, but Southland and Sly have both stepped up and really got the ball rolling right now also.
Last week's predictions, you got them all right, Scott. I missed on Sly County. We knew that Sumter would annihilate Jordan, and I think it was 49-0 at the end of the first quarter. Mm-hmm. We both felt like Southland Academy would win their football game. I don't think either one of us believed it would be the blowout it was.
I did.
Did you?
I did. I just didn't. I didn't want to. I didn't want to give Terrell Academy any bulletin board material, but I felt quite certain that's how it was. Neither one of us got spaghetti. Oh, do we have spaghetti? Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, sorry.
Somebody got spaghetti and they just delivered it in here to us. So we're
That's it.
that's it. That's it right there. Southland Academy defeated Terrell Academy, and Scott, neither one of us, I don't think predicted it would be as bad as it was, but you did think they would beat them worse than I did.
I did. I just didn't want to give them Terrell Academy any motivation to prove me wrong. I was Vince Dooley them a little bit, you know.
And then I just felt like Sly County had not proven to me that they could muster enough offense to win over Macon County, but they found it and pulled off the win.
They did. Apparently, I think Macon County kept trying to feed it to that running back they had, and Sly County's defense stepped up and really did well. But Sly County's defense is really going to have another test this week, as we're going to cover in just a few minutes.
They are. Let's get started with our three local teams. First, we'll start with Sly County. The Cats defeated Macon County by a score of 17-0. Sly County is now 4-3 on the year. The key to that is they are 3-0 in region play. This week's game will, in my opinion, Scott, determine the region championship as they travel up the road to play Taylor County in Butler.
And Taylor County is winning games and winning them big, and really putting up some impressive yardage and stats. Got some players we're going to address in a little bit, but they've got a D1 roster with more than one player that's being looked at by some D1 schools and received D1 offers.
Scott, offensively, when you look at Sly County, they've struggled, and we want to brag on them, but we also want to be real, and they've struggled a little bit offensively. Blake Weldon's completion percentage is less than 50%. The Cats have only thrown for 490 yards on the season. Jeremiah Johnson right now is Sly County's leading rusher with 550 yards. So if you add all that together, it's just been kind of an average offensive season. Not awful, but nothing really to write home about. If you flip that on the flip side and look at Taylor County's offense this week, quarterback Leland Holder has thrown for 1,300 plus yards, and they've got two running backs that have amassed more than 400 yards, Duggar and Chapman. So I just think this matchup's going to come down to one thing, Scott. It's going to come down to, can Sly County's defensive front put some pressure on Leland Holder, and at the same time, those guys on the backside of that defense, can they cover the receiver?
Well, like you said, Sly County hasn't necessarily put a lot of offensive stats on the board this year. But if the defense pitches a shutout, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You just got to get 3 points on the board, or two, or whatever that matters. But let me tell you what. Even if you put pressure on Leland Holder, all he's got to do is see out of the corner of his eye and see Chan Lumpkin getting some separation and a safety being caught, looking the wrong way, and he's just going to chunk it up there, and that Chan Lumpkin is going to, the Tulane commit, is going to run like a gazelle under it and take it to the house. So, it's almost like, I hate to say it, but almost like Sly County's going to have to play a prevent defense,
Yeah.
A lot during the game.
Don't let them get behind.
Don't let them be kind of bend, not break, which is kind of how they've done it. But I want the Sly County fans to, in addition to the names we've already mentioned, if you've been a Taylor County fan of any time and you mentioned Duggar and Chapman, both those running backs, those are long, old-time Taylor County football names that you've heard each generation, and a lot of players have come through Taylor County with those last names. But there's a new one that's come through there, and Zaquan Dozier, and he is a name that may not be familiar to a lot of folks in the region, but it will be. He is a 6'4", 265-pound freshman.
Wow.
Defensive tackle, has already gotten offers from Georgia Tech, Florida State. He's visiting Alabama the 1st of November. I think I get Florida Atlantic, Florida International. I think he's got an offer from Florida International too, but that was his first offer. And then Georgia Tech and Florida State stepped up to the plate right after that. But in addition to, being worried about the offensive weapons, you're going to have to figure out some way to block him or answer for him on offense, because he is going to be a menace for our quarterback and our linemen to deal with.
What really impressed me this week about Taylor County, and we break down Sly, Sumter, and Southland's opponents each week, and we look at the numbers. Taylor County has got 2 losses on the season, Scott. They lost to Jasper County, and they also lost to Wheeler County. So we go back and we dig into how have those teams done, what does their stats look like? Well, just so happens that Wheeler County is 6-0, Jasper County is 6-0, and both of their defenses are leading their region. So you understand why early in the season Taylor County may have lost to those folks.
Well, I think Dozier didn't get to play the first half of the game against Jasper. I'm not exactly sure what it was, injury or discipline or what, but it's neither here nor there. But if you look at the box score on that game, the Jasper County had almost their offense was non-existent in the second half, and Taylor County kept chipping away to just run out of time in that game.
So, Scott, what's the key for Sly County? If Sly County is going to be successful and come out of here with a win, what do they have to do?
They're going to have to, I've got complete confidence in the Sly County coaches to have a plan, but Taylor County this year has got a stable full of athletes, and it's going to be tough. You're going to have to the safety is going to have a lot of miles on him, and the cornerbacks are going to have a lot of miles on them after come Saturday morning. But watch those offensive linemen and see early. Number 52 is Dozier, but he'll stand out at 6'4", 265. But remember, this guy's 14 years old.
That's right. Today's show is brought to you by Carter's Fried Chicken. They're located at 206 Tripp Street in Americus. Owner Mike Shaddles and his staff, they've been feeding Southwest Georgia for more than 30 years. They offer daily lunch specials featuring baked or fried chicken and vegetables, and they do it all at an affordable price. Carter's Fried Chicken is a supporter of all of our local area teams. Thanks again to Carter's Fried Chicken for sponsoring this segment of the Integrity Sports Podcast. We had Chance Jones on earlier, the head coach at Southland Academy. If you didn't get a chance to see that when we first came on, make sure and watch our replay. Always enjoy listening to Coach Chance Jones. Southland Academy, for 3 straight weeks now, has been totally dominant. They're on a 5-game winning streak now, and they've got a record of 5-2. This week, they blasted Terrell Academy 44-7. And Scott, this Raider team's looking really good.
One of the things I think that we've seen with this particular Raider team is the defense is really flying around. That tells me that there's been some very good game prep, that the coaches have got these kids prepared, and the kids are really starting to listen to the coaches. If your defense is flying around and looks like a stomped on yellow jacket nest, and they're going towards the ball and they're all over the field, then that defense is enjoying themselves and they're ready for whatever the other side's going to throw at them. They do have a week of rest. I hope this doesn't slow the momentum. I hope they're able to keep the momentum and keep the focus, and then as they go right into homecoming after that.
Scott, this week you said they're off, and I'm not sure that's a good thing. Chance Jones says you just kind of go with the flow, do what you got to do, and get a chance to let guys heal up. But, boy, the way they've been on a roll lately, if I'm that coach, I may want to just continue to play. Let's look at what happened. I want to talk about those guys in the trenches, Scott. We mentioned the offensive line 2 weeks ago. Last week we kind of focused on the defensive line. Both sides of the football up front. If you're a casual observer of high school football, you don't pay much attention to that. Mm-hmm. But watching what Southland's done, I think that's the key to them winning so big lately, is both sides of the football up front are controlling the football game.
And you can watch those. If you watch those in the second and third quarter especially, you can focus more on like you said, the trenches, the offensive, defensive fronts in the second and third quarter. It's easy to get the kids motivated coming out at the beginning of the game in the first quarter, and it's easy to get them motivated at the end of the game, especially if it's a close game. But a lot of times, just like baseball, won in the middle innings, you can win and lose these games in the middle quarters. And a lot of times, it's done with the lineman, which if one side of the ball and the other wants to take a play or two off and everything, and next thing you know, the offense has broke a big score, or they've slipped in there and they've stunted and got a big sack. That sometimes is the difference in the game.
Yeah. Southland's currently ranked number 3 in the GIAA Class AA rankings. That's behind Brentwood and Southwest Georgia Academy. Scott, I'm not sure that even the staunchest Raider fans saw this coming. You and I expected Southland to be much improved. We certainly believe in Chance Jones and would have this team. I think Chance is on that upward trajectory, but I don't know that anybody saw Southland performing this well this early.
The key to what we said early in the season, we pointed out that they needed to stay healthy. They needed that was the one thing that happened last year, that there were some key injuries, and that really kind of derailed the season last year. But I was talking to one of the fans before we started the show, and he said, he said our starting 11, he said I'd put them up against anybody in the state right now. They're just playing really well. So we anything we said early in the season, we always put the little asterisk if they stay healthy. They've stayed healthy, and they've proven that Chance Jones is the right one to lead them and have them prepared, and the other coaches have them prepared, and the young men are staying healthy and able to execute the plans.
I also want to mention one of our sponsors who's also a coach at Southland. Mike Shaddles works real heavily with the offense, and his skill guys, Mac McMichael, Jamarcus Walker, Alan Stick, Bryant Rowland. I mean, they've got some guys on that side of the football putting some points on the board.
Exactly, especially in the last couple of weeks. That it may have surprised you. I, of course, was not surprised, but they were really running the score up on some of these teams that has haunted them in the past few seasons.
Scott, I think you're going after a free chicken dinner at the Carter's Fried Chicken. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Marty McDonald State Farm Insurance. They're located at 925 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Americus. Go by and see Marty, Mary Lynn, or any of their fine staff and let them discuss your insurance needs. They can even do the famous discount double check to ensure you're receiving all of the savings that are available to you. Give them a call at 928-3686 or look them up on Facebook. Thanks again to Marty McDonald State Farm. And remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Sumter County High School Panthers have now moved to 6-0 with another blowout win. This time it was over Jordan High School of Columbus. The final score was 62-0. Sumter has played 6 games. They've only allowed a total of 35 points all season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the defense has played phenomenal. We're still looking at that Carver game. They're still circling that to really see what Sumter County has on the kind of Final Four level. Is what we're doing. But yes, their defense is playing strong. They're staying healthy, and everything is falling into place exactly like we thought it would this season.
This week, the Panthers travel to Columbus. They'll take on Spencer High School. Spencer is 3-3 on the season. They are on a 3-game win streak, Scott. They started 0-3, and we thought, boy, they've really fallen off the rails, but they've rebounded over the last 3 weeks and even their record up at 3-3. I tend to think this may be a trap game.
It very well could be because, Carver's right there on the horizon, and if they get caught looking past Spencer, if they go into halftime tied or a close game or dare I say behind, that Spencer team's going to come out of the locker room like their hair's on fire and wreak havoc on Sumter County, and Sumter County's going to have to really play catch up. So I'm hoping that, in true to Sumter County fashion, they're able to jump on them early and fast on the game and get 2 or 3 scores up to where the defeatist mindset comes into on your opponent, and they're able to put this team away early.
Scott, you and I have talked over the last couple of weeks about the schedule that Sumter County has played, and they have played some teams that are really struggling. And our concern was, do you get to Carver or do you get to the playoffs? And you haven't really played a stiff level of competition. So I did a comparison this week to look at what has Carver done. Have they played teams that are really, really good? And when you look at the combined records of both Carver and Sumter County, the Carver opponents going into this week are 14-19. The combined records of Sumter County's opponents are 11-24. So pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, and you got to play. There's no way you can predict from one season to the next. When you're making your schedule, who's going to. I mean, there's certain ones that you historically are going to be doormats, and there's others that are historically going to be strong. But that you got to play the teams that's on your schedule, and you got to. But the flip side of playing, I guess I'm going to use weaker opponents, is typically your stars ain't getting hurt.
Yeah,
they're not getting tested, but they're not being put in positions to where they got to play all 4 quarters and get hurt. So at least you're healthy going in to the playoffs. So hopefully, if they can sit there and do what they need to do, finishing out the season, have that momentum, and then they'll see some quality opponents as they go deeper in the playoffs.
Sumter County is currently ranked number 8 in the Georgia High School Sports Daily poll, and that's where they were at last year. Our hope is that they can get a win against Spencer this week, and then that October the 10th looms large as Carver will come to town. They'll play at Finkley Robinson Stadium on the 10th. Scott, that gets us wrapped up with the breakdown of our 3 local teams. Let's look at a few other area games that are coming up this week. Crisp County. Crisp is 1-5. They were open last week. This week, they're going to host Tattnall County, which is a region game. Tattnall County's 2-4. What do you think about this one?
Crisp County's an 18-point favorite. I think in order to stay intellectually honest with a lot of this stuff, we might have to start tracking from one week to the next. And rather than just picking the winner, we need to do the points too.
Yeah.
And do I think Crisp County's going to beat them? Yes. Do I think they're going to beat them by 18 points? I don't know. Since we hadn't enacted that rule yet, I'm going to go with Crisp County. But I think in the future, to finish out the season, we may have to take the points.
I got you. So, Crisp County, I'm going to go with you too. You have competed all year against some really good teams, and the score hadn't gotten out of control. I think that front-loaded schedule kind of hurt you, and especially getting used to a new system under Coach Justin Newman. But this week, we feel like Crisp County will beat Tattnall County. Speaking of Crisp County, and this will be our final week of mentioning this, their FFA is having a mattress sale on Saturday, Sunday, November the 2nd. It'll be held in the Crisp County Gym. They'll have twin-size mattresses for $199, full-size for $249, queens from $299, and king-size from $399. If you'd like more information on the Crisp County FFA mattress sale, you can text CRISP FFA to 737-200-5923. Again, that's CRISP FFA. Text that to 737-200-5923.
Tim, do you think they'll finance any water beds at that mattress sale?
They might do that through Affirm.
Okay. I just was curious because I'd like a water bed, but I'm going to probably need some financing.
Did you have a water bed back in the day?
I did. I had one in college. I tell you, if that heater went out, it was rough.
It was cold. Lee County, Scott. Lee County's 4-2. They lost this past week to what I think may be the best team in any classification in the state, Thomas County Central. Final score was 35-21. This week, the Trojans of Lee County travel to Douglas to take on the Trojans of Coffee County. Coffee and Lee for years have been kind of the 2 dogs that went at it. This year, 4-2 for Lee County, 3-3 for Coffee County. Both of these programs under good head coaches and good coaching staffs. One thing we will mention, yes, we're aware that Coach Dean Fabrizio is on administrative leave for personal reasons. They will be coached this week, and until a determination is made on the future of Dean Fabrizio by a gentleman by the name of John Flath. And I understand that he is a really good coach. He played at Florida State, so he's got that good background, very intelligent coach. So got a lot of confidence. I've been told that Lee County's had an incredible week of practice, and these kids have really bought in to winning out this season. So, Scott, a tough situation down in Lee County, but I think Lee County will take this one.
They're 7-point favorites, so I think they'll get the W. I would probably take the points on that too. They're going to be playing one thing that the Maxwell ratings. I think they're going to play inspired, motivated football on Friday night. For the coach that's out, and for the coach that stepped up and is taken over until whatever happens at Lee County.
All right, Marion County, they're 0-6. They're going to travel to Crawford County. Crawford is 3-3. I believe that Marion's winless season stays intact, and I expect Crawford County to win this one.
And Crawford County is a 22-point favorite. I think that they'll win by 22 points. But I think also I got a little bird told me today. I think Crawford County, they got a brand new scoreboard and they're having some technical difficulties. So you might want to bring a abacus with you to kind of keep up with the score, or bring something that because you may not be able to see the score on the scoreboard tomorrow night.
Well, if they can get the scoreboard working, they certainly have a nice AstroTurf field now at Crawford County. Things are looking up there. They got a really good athletic director that's turning the corner for Crawford County up there. So we both expect Crawford County to come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell Academy, they are 3-3. They return home this week. They'll take on Windsor Academy of Macon. Windsor comes into the contest at 1-5.
I'm going to go with Terrell Academy. Terrell Academy, regardless what the records are, there's a sense of urgency with them after the big loss with from Southland last week. I think the coaches probably were a little more instructional this week at the Terrell Academy practices. Usually after a loss like that to a rival like Southland and Terrell have been. But I feel like Terrell Academy will come out on top of that one.
I'm going to agree with you. Jack Harris, usually pretty good after a loss. He gets those guys back to work immediately, and he's building there. We knew that Terrell was going to be a little down on the talent scale this year, but they are 3-3 going in, and I expect them to be 4-3 coming out of this week. That gets us to prediction time on our three local teams. We're going to start with Southland Academy this week, Scott. I think both of us are of the mindset they will not lose this week.
Exactly. That's right.
Southland Academy is open, and they will not lose, so their 5-game winning streak will remain intact. Sumter County travels to Columbus to take on Spencer. What do you think?
25-point favorite. I feel like they're going to win that. Now, whether it's by 25 points or not, that will be a difficult call to make because Spencer, like you said, is on a 3-game winning streak, so they're going to be playing a little bit better football than the Jordans and the teams that Sumter's seen the past 3 weeks.
I'm going to go with Scott. I too think that Sumter County will come out on top. I'm not convinced yet that it's going to be another blowout game. I think it's hard to get young people motivated when you know what's the next week in front of you with Carver. I think they may get off to a slow start until Will Rogers and his guys really kind of kick them in the behind and say, it's time to get moving. We got to get this thing won. And they will win, but I'm not sure it's going to be a 24-point spread. That gets us to Sly County and Taylor County. Most likely this will be for the region championship in that region. And remember, right now, Class A Division II does not go by the rating system. They still go by the top 4 teams in your region. So the winner of this game really gets a leg up in the region and most likely becomes the region champ. What do you think?
Still, the team that this region matches up against, or it's going to be a tough region, whether you're number 1 or number 2 or 3 or 4 seed, because they're going to have to face the Brooks counties and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this game is knotted up at 0. There's no favorite, which is odd to me because usually teams that are really closely matched, the home team typically gets at least 3 points. And in this situation, I'm going to go with Taylor County for this reason. I know Sly County's coaches are going to have them ready, okay? And I know they're going to have a good game plan. But, what they say, the X's, not always X's and O's, it falls down to the Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah.
And Taylor County has got a roster with some D1 talent at some key positions. And so I'm thinking that unless the Sly County team plays mistake-free football tomorrow night, it's going to be Taylor County's going to end up winning that tomorrow night.
I am a little gun-shy after last week. Sly County, I picked against them last week. I didn't think their offense could score on Macon County. They did just the opposite. They scored and Macon County didn't. So I hate to pick against them, but I'm like you, Scott. I look at several things, and I tell you what's been on my mind this week. You remember a few years ago, we went to Taylor County. Sly County went to Taylor County, and we were loads better than them talent-wise. And Brandon Byram put together a game plan that I think we were up 7-0 or 14-7, something like that at halftime. He kept the ball away. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, and it was like watching molasses, and
Yeah.
he kept a very slow-paced game plan, and now the shoe's on the other foot. I think Taylor County's going to be wanting to open things up and go wide open. So we'll see what happens with that tomorrow night.
Well, I've been thinking about that and then looking at the talent level of 3 or 4 of those guys on Taylor County's team. I'm going to have to go with Taylor County as much as it pains me. I hope that Sly County can pull this off, and I don't mind having 3 losses in my prediction this time next week if Sly County can pull it off. But if we go by the numbers and go by what should happen on paper, you got to go with Taylor County. So
Taylor County's, they're going to be stacked. If you're a Sly County fan, they only take cash, and they got a clear bag policy, and you better get there at 7:00 tomorrow night. I mean, they are licking their chops, and I guarantee you they've had this game circled since this time last year.
we're coming to the end now, and Scott, we're in week 8. Most teams have played 6 or 7 games at this point. Your thoughts at this point in the season on all 3 of our local teams?
I'm not surprised where any of them are. I mean, Sly has had a tradition of winning. The coaches have been able to put together some good game plans, and the boys have stepped up and done what they were supposed to do. Not surprised there. We've said at the beginning of the season, Southland, stay healthy, get that wing tee down to where you can do it in your sleep and do that. Now, I did not anticipate Southland having such a strong, motivated defense that they seem to have in a lot of these shutouts, but that's indicative of a team that's playing good football and playing fun football when your defense is wide open like that. So, and once again, I mean, Sumter County, we've seen this slow, steady improvement over the last 4 or 5 years, and I think that this is going to be the year where I think that Sumter County gets over that Carver hump.
Wow, I like to hear that, Scott.
Yep.
My final thoughts tonight are this. It's a lot of fun when all of our local teams are having some success. And for 5 weeks now, Southland Academy's been on a winning streak. Sumter County is 6-0, and Sly County, after a slow start, has really come on strong here as of late. And it just makes things better in our community when those teams are winning. We hope that you'll get out and watch your favorite team tomorrow night. For those that are Southland Academy fans, you don't have a game here tomorrow night, but go support one of these other teams. Let them know you're there for them. It's a good time in Southwest Georgia. We want to thank you for making the Integrity Sports Podcast a part of your weekly routine. Please go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button, no matter what platform you're watching on tonight. Like and share this video. We had 2,700 views last week, Scott.
Wow.
So our viewership is growing.
Have we got any comments? Have you looked to see?
I haven't looked. Let's look and see if we've got any comments. If you haven't commented and you would like to comment, we do have a couple of comments. Let's see what we got. I think Carrie Claiborne said, "Great job, fellas," and administrative leave, personal reasons. We'll just kind of leave that one right there. But Carrie, thank you for commenting. Again, that's one of our new features this year is the comment section. You can watch us on YouTube or Facebook and make those comments, and we'll be able to see them here on the screen. So again, we want to thank you for being a part of this. Thanks again to our sponsors, Harper's Tree and Stump Removal, Carter's Fried Chicken, and Marty McDonald State Farm Insurance. Go out and support your team. All of the kickoffs tomorrow night are at 7:30 other than Columbus. In Columbus, they kick off at 7 o'clock. So make sure and remember that. For my friend Scott Westbrook, I'm Tim Estes. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.